Lesson 11, page 10. This is Michael with Patriarchal Psaltophiles. And last time we talked about the omalon as the first quality character that we've learned. Today we are going to have an example with omalon in our usual hymn, Tes Presviesis Theotokou. And then we're going to learn a second very important character of quality, χαρακτήρας ποιότητος, which is varia, the varia. And then we are going to use varia in τις πρεσβείες της Θεοτόκου as well. Okay, so I am going to perform the first phrase, τις πρεσβείες της Θεοτόκου, with and without the omalon. Vuga di ga di ke di. Now with the omalon. Vuga di ga di ke di. Di ga vuga di ke di ga vu. Okay, so we see the effect of the omalon the way we explained it last time. This time we are going to introduce a new characteras ποιότητος, quality character, namely varia or grave. It gives a heavy, grave accent or a stress on the quantity character which it is subscribed. Actually, it is written before the character that it has an effect on. So varia, for example, in this case, has an effect on the ison. So it has an effect directly on the characteras ποσότητος or the quantity character directly, immediately after that. Varia is always written before the character that has an energy on or an effect on. So in this case, without the varia, we would say the. With the varia, we would just stress or give a heavier accent to the first D. The. Okay. The. Instead of the. So when you don't have the varia, all the isa are pronounced or performed with an equal weight, simply and plain. The. With the varia, we stress the first one. The. Second line. The. Varia, ison, με κλάσμα, μαρτυρία του δι. Δι. Okay. Varia is one of these characters that sometimes is performed differently depending on the different kind of combination of characters that you find it in. For example, when you see varia and any quantity character followed by an apostrophos, sometimes traditional chanters make a downward bow with their voice. The gavu without, with the gavu, the gavu ga di the gavu ga di. Now, that is not to say that some traditional chanters would see this phrase and they would say, di ga vu ga di. So what I'm trying to say is when you see a varia, sometimes is performed one way and a different way another time, depending on the context that you see it in. And sometimes depending if you have one syllable or two syllables below it as well. So it's very important for you, like we said last time, when we introduce quality characters, that the best way for you to learn them is to actually learn the characters, the how, the quality, by listening to traditional chanters, preferably chanters that they served in the Patriarchal Church of St. George in Constantinople, in our ecumenical patriarchate. And the reason for that is that in the ecumenical patriarchate church, they had very strict limits and rules on what to chant and how to chant it. And because of this very strict regulation, the performance of these symbols has been preserved throughout the centuries with as little variations as possible, as little, let's say, corruption as possible from the outside churches and from the outside music. Okay. Diga buga di 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 que diga bu without with que diga buga ga di di without que diga buga ga di di with que diga buga ga di di. And the last line that we have before we go on to the Presbyteris Theotoku, the without the varia, the gabuga di ke di gabu with the varia, the gabuga, because we stress the first apostrophe. The second one that goes on the arsis is performed in kind of a delayed kind of way. And you make a little bit of laryngismos, a little bit of a throat embellishment between the two apostrophe. Okay? Without the gabuga, plain and straight. Nothing with your throat in there. But because we have the varia that stresses the first apostrophos, affects the second one. In a way, one of the ways you can say it is the gabuga, the gabuga, abuga, the ke, the gabu. Okay. Diga buga, di ke diga bu. The Presbyteris Theotoku now has the omalon and the varia. Okay, remember how we started this thing? You did not have klasma, you did not have omalon, you did not have varia, you did not have this klasma here, you did not have the oligon. You did not have the kendimata, you did not have the dipli. But yet, somehow, we kind of managed to preserve the very essential melody. Now we are adding more and more to it, making it more and more realistic, approaching more and more the tradition of the ecumenical patriarchate. And you would perform this thing kind of like that. Vu ga di ga di ke di ga vu ga di ke di ga vu. vu ga di ga di ke di ga vu ga di ke ga vu vu ga di ga di ke omalon di ga vu ga di ke ga vu martiria du vu tes presvi estis Theotoku soter son imas. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.